He did it. He finally signed. That's right, first-round draft pick Darren Lee finally signed with the New York Jets. Oh, you thought I was talking about Joey Bosa? Oh no, Bosa watch still continues, and the Chargers report for training camp this Friday. Ryan speaks fondly of his past, especially his time in Louisiana. He helped LSU win the College World Series back in 2009, and now as a member of the current Padres infield, he's hoping to be a part of the franchise's long-term plans. For a few days, the U.S. Olympic women's rugby team has an opportunity on an international stage to draw in more fans to their sport. The latest ex-Padre, Melvin Upton Jr., who was traded this morning to Toronto for 19-year-old pitcher Hansel Rodriguez. Gretel was not included in the deal.
NBC7 Sports Desk, sponsored by your San Diego County Nissan dealers.
Ever wonder what the Chargers quarterbacks do when they have extra time to themselves in the practice field? Well, sometimes they make up games to see who can earn bragging rights, even if it's only for a few minutes. Philip Rivers and his 3 understudies engaged in a friendly quarterback challenge. You have to toss the ball over the goalpost and into the target. Easier said than done, but Rivers, yeah, he's pretty good at it. Kellen Clemens, solid at times. Here's his first try, right on the money, and then second attempt, dropping back, just like in the game. All right, just a little bit short, not too bad though. Zach Mettenberger was, well, how should we put this? Wide right there, just a bit outside. Mike Bercovici, the rookie, he actually got the hang of it too, ended up making a run at Rivers. The rookie from Arizona State hit 5 in a row at one point, showing off the arm and the accuracy. Rivers still won the competition though. I think his job is still safe. I think the best way to describe the Padres' latest trade is like this. The Marlins were kind of like that person in the store that goes right to the customer service desk. You know, the one that shows a receipt and demands a refund? Well, the Padres allowed them to return Colin Ray, who had some elbow soreness in his one start with Miami. In exchange, San Diego agreed to give back pitching prospect Luis Castillo. Another former Marlin who now plays in San Diego, Jared Cozart, made his debut with the Padres tonight. He was a bit wild against the Brewers, walked 6, even hit a batter, but he avoided making any major mistakes. Down here, Solarte and friends helped pick him up in the 3rd inning. Brewers loaded the bases with 1 down, but Chris Carter grounded into the 6-4-3 double play. Cozart lasted just 3 1/3 innings, but only allowed 1 hit and 0 runs. Solarte powered the offense in the right direction here in the 5th. This 2-run single gave the Friars a 4-2 advantage, and the next batter was Ryan Schimpf, and he lined a triple to the right field corner. Check out the speed on the base paths. Solarte coming around from first base. Here comes the relay throw. That's right, they're sending him, and he's going to slide in there just ahead of the tag. Great slide. Padres put up a 5 spot in the 5th, and they go on to get the victory 7-3. Travis Jankowski also had a big game with 3 hits and a career-high 3 steals. Team USA basketball had one final tune-up before the games start to count in Rio. Nigeria had dreams of an upset bid in Houston, but DeAndre Jordan was like, I don't think so. Sometimes when I see plays like that, it reminds me of the Monstars in Space Jam. DeMar DeRozan joined the Dunkathon, and the red, white, and blue cruised to a 44-point victory. Team USA plays China in its first real contest this Saturday at 3. Japanese Olympic gymnast Kohei Uchimura is the reigning gold medalist in the men's all-around competition. He also loves playing Pokemon Go. In fact, Uchimura has already played the game so much in Rio that he received a cell phone bill for more than 500,000 yen. That's basically the equivalent of $5,000. And the games have not even started yet. Thankfully, his carrier service agreed to reduce his bill. Gotta love those roaming charges, that's for sure. The Rio Olympics begin this weekend with the opening ceremony this Friday, right here on NBC7. That's it in sports. I'm Ben Rosehart. We'll be right back after this.
Okay, for the first time, women's rugby is an Olympic sport, and the U.S. will be one of 12 teams competing for medals in Rio. 2 San Diego Olympians hope they can shine the spotlight on their sport like another group of female athletes did 2 decades ago. NBC7's Ben Rosehart has more.
She cuts back against the green. Now there's the gap. Javelin. What a run by Javelin. What a try for USA.
A graduate of Torrey Pines High School, Jessica Javelin can outrace some of the fastest women's rugby players in the entire world. But she and her Olympic teammates cannot hide from their supporters.
It's so cool, you know, just to have so many people, people that I don't even really know, just saying like, hey, like, go USA, you know, go out there and make them proud. And that's just, I mean, it's so, it just actually gave me goosebumps, just thinking about it.
In a country where football is such a popular sport, for a few days, the U.S. Olympic women's rugby team has an opportunity on an international stage to draw in more fans to their sport.
I just think like to the future when I'm like older, I guess, and have grandkids, and I could tell them like, oh yeah, you know, I was a part of the first women's rugby team, and they'll be like, oh, that was ages ago, you know.
August marks the introduction of rugby sevens to the Olympics, and Stevens and Javelet carry two main goals into Rio. They want to win and they want to inspire, just like another group of American women did 17 years ago in a different sport.
It's so cool just to have the opportunity, and like when we think about it as like the 99ers, the women's soccer team, I remember exactly where I was when I was watching the shootout. We really hope to be that for the younger generation of girls who can watch this and be like, wow, I could do that, I could be an Olympian, and especially in something like rugby. So we're just hoping to encourage a generation of little girls to come out and play rugby.
Fallbrook native Rochelle Stevens was only a few years old when Brandy Chastain scored that dramatic game winner in the World Cup. But the significance of that moment still rings true.
It gives me chills like every time I see it, you know, and it's like, God, like that could be us, like we could be the ones, you know, that are inspiring girls to play rugby.
Of course, the more games the team wins, the longer the time in the Olympic spotlight will last. Team USA's group includes Fiji, Colombia, and the favorite, Australia. But the Eagles should be confident. They defeated Fiji 3 times in the last 4 months, and Colombia is the lowest seeded country. At the Olympic Training Center in Chula Vista, Ben Rosehart, Jerome's Furniture Sports Wrap.
All right, thanks, Ben, and good luck, ladies.
And he lines that one for a base hit into the right field corner. Ryan Schimpf.
Less than 2 months into his Major League career, Ryan Schimpf is already garnering national attention. He crushed a rookie franchise record 9 homers in July and was just named the National League Rookie of the Month. All this after he had just 3 hits in his entire first 2 weeks in the bigs.
Early on when I first got here, I was having good at-bats, just didn't have many hits to show for it. And it's easy to kind of get caught up in that and, you know, try to press to get some hits. And then just finally just got to a point where I just cared about the approach and what I was up there trying to do, the pitches I was swinging at.
Schimpf can play second and third base, and he was an outfielder in college. His versatility helps him get more playing time, and his patience at the plate helps him get on base, something the Padres desperately need.
I mean, the biggest thing is just the approach. Just stay with the approach and don't give in. That's the biggest thing I've been trying to work on.
Ryan speaks fondly of his past, especially his time in Louisiana. He helped LSU win the College World Series back in 2009, and now as a member of the current Padres infield, he's hoping to be a part of the franchise's long-term plans.
I'm extremely happy to be here and you know, happy to do what I can to help us win and to stay here.
Originally a 5th-round draft pick by Toronto, Schimpf spent a long time climbing the ladder in the Blue Jays minor league system. After tearing it up in AAA El Paso, he got his big break when Corey Spangenberg and Alexi Amarista went down with injuries.
I was with Toronto for 7 years. Enjoyed my time there. Learned a lot of things, met a lot of good people, and you know, that time came where I was a minor league free agent, and you know, glad I got the interest and the call from the Padres here, and you know, very thankful for the opportunity for them to, you know, give me a chance to play in the big leagues.
At this rate, Schimpf will be tough to keep out of the Padres lineup. At Petco Park, Ben Rosehart, NBC7.